In March 1988, I received a letter from Mr. Sayuan Huang and his wife, the head of the Tzu Chi Foundation's American branch. In addition to mentioning the recent situation, Sayuan also introduced a Mr. L. in his letter. He said that L is a Buddhist. He used to donate money to the Tzu Chi Foundation and Tzu Chi Hospital very enthusiastically. Now he is sick. He hoped that I could diagnose him and give instructions on how to treat it. L sent me a letter introducing himself, saying he was in his 30s, an international student, living alone in the United States, without relatives or friends. He reported his symptoms, saying that he suddenly felt back pain. This case is very difficult for me. I don't have a picture and I don't know the person. How can I inspect him? I plan to write a letter to L to send a recent color photo of life. However, the postal delivery between the United States and Canada is sluggish. The correspondence between the US and Canada takes at least 3 weeks. Then his illness may worsen. I felt that L is in distress. He couldn't wait that long. I had no choice but to read his letter again, hoping to diagnose him from his handwriting. I closed my naked eyes and gathered the energy of his handwriting into an energy field. Soon, a faint figure appeared. This is a tall and thin young man about 35 years old. His spirit in his eyes shows that he's very intelligent. There are many digital symbols and numbers stored in his brain, indicating he is a computer expert. There is no disease in his brain. Looking at his internal organs, there is no problem either. The limbs are normal, but his legs are painful and numb. Then, taking a look at his blood composition and spinal cord, I was taken aback. In his spinal cord, below the 6th section of the dorsal spinal canal, there is a deformed material that is 5 or 6 inches long, which looks like a cancer or a malignant tumor. It is awful. This person is really suffering. If he is not rescued, his life may be in danger in about 2 weeks. This is the first time I saw this strange disease. In the past 10 years, I have seen nearly 10,000 patients, and I have never seen such a peculiar disease. It is completely different from the common back pain. Could I see it wrong? I hardly trust my eyes. Again, I closed my eyes, entered Samadhi, and observed him with the 3 eyes of heaven, Dharma, and wisdom. I observed it several times and saw the same. Strange, what is this disease? What is the cause? I see this unmarried young man behaves well. He is kind-hearted and studious. He has no bad habit of smoking or drinking, piously believes in Buddhism, leads an earnest life, diligently recites Buddha Sutra. He even seems to have an idea to become a monk. How could he get this weird disease? It turns out to be the previous karma in his past life, which is his privacy. I shouldn't disclose it, so I won't mention it. I open my eyes and read his letter again. His address and phone are appended at the end of his letter. And he hopes that I will let him come to see me. With my consent, he can fly to Vancouver immediately. He asked me to make a long-distance call to inform him. With the address and phone number, it is easy to handle. At least I can call and see that person distinctly. Can I see the other party on the phone? Yes. But that is not visible to the naked eye. I often heal people on the phone and point out their facial features, physical characteristics and surrounding environment, which astonishes them. A few nights ago, an unfamiliar lady called from California. She said she knew Buddhism and believed in Buddhism because of reading my book. Her manner was very polite, but she wondered if I could really see her on the phone. Just test me jokingly and ask me. You said you can see on the phone? So, can you tell me what I am doing now? I don't like anyone to test me with this joking attitude. Similar to this situation, I usually refuse to answer, and I will hang up the phone silently and never answer the other party again. Because this ability was given to me by Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva to release people from suffering, not to perform or show off, and definitely not to entertain the curious people. That time I was in a good mood and didn't hang up, but I taught the other party a lesson. Then I said, "You have such a playful attitude, asking me to abuse my super sense to play games with you. Originally, I would ignore you, but I am in a good mood tonight and didn't hang up. You ask me to see what you're doing. I'm not so capable. Also, I need not prove to you that I can see you. However, your stomach and intestines have wounds. You had ulcers before and had surgery. Your uterus is gone, cut off. Your thyroid is sick, you are taking medicine." Then I mentioned some of her privacy. I'm sorry. So-and-so woman hurriedly apologized, "I am wrong, I will kowtow to you. You really see me through. All you said are correct. My uterus is cut off, my thyroid gland is sick, and my stomach had an ulcer surgery. I'm not afraid of being tested, but I feel that people should not abuse my third eye super sense to satisfy their meaningless play or curiosity, and that is tantamount to using X-ray and ultrasound to make fun of. Isn't it wasteful? Third eye is not easy to come by. I obtained this by practicing morality for many lifetimes and only use it for first aid and suffering. How can I use it arbitrarily for meaningless entertainment? If I abuse it, I am afraid of being condemned by the wrath of heaven. Whoever arbitrarily tests me will also be condemned by the wrath of heaven. Do you find it strange that you can see things and hear sounds? You think it's just a common and instinctive thing, but the blind can't realize the feeling you can see with your eyes. No matter how you explain to him, he still doesn't understand. Basically, everyone can successfully cultivate the three eyes of heaven, Dharma, and wisdom, even the eyes of Buddha eyes. It's just that most people in the world are obscured by ignorance, avidya. I have practiced morality for many lifetimes so that I have less ignorance and my self-nature appears a bit more. I also observe precepts and practice morality in this lifetime. My disposition is slightly clearer and purer than ordinary people. I would rather call it instinct. Now let's us back to the story of Mr. L. I made a long-distance call to him that night. During the call, I could see clearly what color shirt he was wearing, etc. Of course, it also confirms my observation of capturing his energy field shape from his handwriting. What I see in the handwriting is a phantom, and what I see on the phone is a real form. What is so surprising? The telephone line sends the energy and photons from his energy field. Is this also a superstition? My words surprised him. I told him my observations in detail, and said, "Mike, you must go to the hospital for treatment immediately. You can't delay. Otherwise, you may be in danger soon. Should I take the plane to see you immediately? If you see me directly, it will be clearer." He was still a little doubtful. "No need," I said, "I have seen it clearly. You can't delay, not even delay a day, the sooner you can cut the better. However, the doctor has not yet been able to determine what it is. You can't delay anymore," I said anxiously. "Mike, go to the hospital. I never urge patients to undergo surgery, but I will urge you this time." "But, is surgery dangerous?" he asked worriedly. "Is there any other way?" "This is no longer something that can be eliminated by radiation cobalt. You have only one way to go now, that is to have a surgery and cut it off," I said. "Mike, of course, this operation is extremely dangerous. Probably, 1 out of 10 can survive spinal nerve surgery. However, you must take the risk this time. Otherwise, your life will be in extreme danger in less than a month. If having surgery, you still have a glimmer of hope for survival, Mike, don't be afraid and take your courage. Pray to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva for blessing. I'll also pray for you, trust Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva." He is alone in the US, and his parents are both in Taiwan. He has no wife, no relatives, and few friends in the US, which makes me especially sympathize with him. He is sick in a foreign country, life or death is difficult to tell, and he's unaccompanied. I suddenly feel that I should try my best to save him and protect him. Although he is unfamiliar to me before, I think he is like a younger brother of mine. I'm worried about him. In the next few days, he talked with me a few times on the phone. He told me that the doctor finally confirmed the diagnosis and decided to operate immediately, which is consistent with my diagnosis. He told me that he's scheduled to have the surgery at the University of California Hospital 3 days later, and he would send me a recent photo. With your encouragement and comfort, he was very calm. I am not scared anymore. I truly believe that Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva will save my life. I am facing the critical juncture of life and death this time and feel very calm in my heart. I am no longer scared. Thank you, Layman Faun. If I'll be safe in the surgery, please send me back my picture. In case of any misfortune, please keep the picture as a souvenir. You are my only dear friend abroad. I listened, feeling sorrowful. I said, Mike, you will be safe, and Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva will bless you. You can go to the hospital with peace of mind. However, I think you should immediately notify your parents and brother to come to America to see you. It's better to have your loved ones by your side. I don't want to inform them, he said. I can't let my mother know. If I die in the hospital, she will be overwhelmed. It's better not to let her know. Whether I'm dead or alive, I can't let her know. I won't let my mother know until the operation is successful. Mike. You will be safe, I promise you. I couldn't convince him. I admire him for his calmness. I said, it would be great if you could accept the challenge with such calmness. If you pray Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva without distraction, you will surely get the Bodhisattva's blessing and get out of danger. Mike, you can go to the hospital tomorrow with peace of mind. I will ask my Buddhist friends in California to visit you in the hospital. I can't come in person, but my spirit will come to the hospital operating room to help you. I will be by your side to pray to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva to bless you. How did you come? He was dubious. It's my spirit coming. I said, Mike, when I come, you will see a burst of red light, and there will be some golden light in the red light. The next day, I received the colorful life photos from him. The photos of this handsome and smart young man sitting on the sofa and meditating confirmed my observations. I placed the photos under the statue of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva and recite the Universal Door chapter for him and pray Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva to bless him. 2 nights later, it was the day when Mike had the surgery. I got up early in the morning. After taking a bath, I chanted and worshipped the Buddha. Then I closed the door and asked Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva to give me the ability of magic feet. In a moment, my spirit had reached the University of California San Francisco Hospital. I saw Mike was pushed into the operating room on a gurney. He was in a coma and lost consciousness under general anesthesia. The bardo of his spiritual consciousness was floating under the ceiling, panicked without a goal. Don't be afraid, Mike. I grabbed his spiritual consciousness. Look, your prayers and our prayers have an inspiring response. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is here. Look at this large piece of golden light. I pointed it to him. That is the light of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Come, I will take you in. I took him to fly into the golden light. How great and soft the golden light shines. We felt comfortable and safe. Continue to chant Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, I said to Mike. After putting him under the golden light of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, I descended over the operating table and looked down at the work of 5 Western doctors in green surgical gowns and 4 nurses. Who turned on the red light? The chief doctor asked. No. The assistant answered. The chief doctor raised his head and looked at me. Where does the red light come from? I hurriedly hid the red light protecting my body, then they returned to work on the operating table. During nearly 5 hours of operation, I witnessed the surgery at the scene and prayed to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva for Mike. Mike's body was lying prone on the operating table, irradiated by a bright surgical lamp. The doctor sawed his back and vertebrae with a surgical saw, from top to bottom, sawing a big and long gap. Very carefully, gently, very slowly, using a peculiar scalpel, the doctor cut out the malignant tumor of his spinal nerve. "Oh, my God!" the chief doctor said while cutting, "I have been a doctor for 25 years and never seen such a monster. What's this?" He immersed the cut-out long strings of cancerous tumors in a glass bottle of transparent potion, and they are still stored in the laboratory of the University of California Hospital, which has become one of the special cases of medical research. When it comes to the red light of the body, some people think it is nonsense. In fact, everyone's body is an electromagnetic field with light. If you use current photographic equipment and methods, you can shoot the light radiated by the human body and the halo over the head. Morality practitioners are more concentrated than ordinary people. They can shoot out in the form of photons. When their minds move, it reaches thousands of miles away instantly. The photon field is formed, and there's light naturally. Powerful as Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, he has incomparably vast and soft golden light. Skanda Bodhisattva and Sakrodevanam Indra have colorful lights. Amitabha Buddha has golden light and white light. I have a low level of cultivation skills. I have very little golden light but only have red light with low frequency, and is very weak. Generally speaking, those who neither study Buddhism nor cultivate morality and eat meat have their light. However, it is more difficult for them concentrating their minds to operate as they please. And most of them are scattered, faint, turbid, and dim. I have seen the light emitted by some people, some of them are black, and the halo on their heads is dark gray. Their lives are nearing the end, and their bad karma is clearly revealed. Many such people come to me. Most of the time, I was usually silent and didn't tell him anything. A man came to see me a few days ago. The black halo on his head is like smoke dyed with ink. I think he has only 7 days of lifespan at most. His cancer has come to an end. I know there is nothing I can do. However, I tried to persuade him to be vegetarian, repent, and worship Buddha. But he refused instantly. The family members coming with him also oppose the vegetarian diet, saying that he will be weak and malnourished if having a vegetarian diet. I had no choice but to be silent and ask them to leave. When bidding farewell, they said, "We wouldn't come to see you if we knew you were not capable. Should we come so far to hear you worship Buddha and be vegetarian? Let's return to church and pray Jesus Christ, and no need to be vegetarian." I shook my head slightly and sighed. Sentient beings are too ignorant to ferry. Indeed, they have no predestined affinity with the Buddha. 4 days later, that person had already died in the hospital, and no one could save him. No magical powers can be opponent with karma. Mike's situation is entirely different. His illness is related to karma in the previous life. However, he has a high understanding and is willing to be a vegetarian and learn Buddhism. Therefore, he can survive the danger, pay off the previous karma, and start a new life of benevolence. Almost concurrent with Mike's case, another elderly patient had an operation in a hospital in a certain state in the US to cut off cancer. My spirit also set forth to help him, and he has gradually recovered. Now he talks about Dharma very actively via his example, witnessing he was saved by Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. When about to wake up after the operation, he saw Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, also saw a cluster of red light, and there was a 1-year-old baby in the light. He said to the public, "That little boy is Faun." His friend called and asked me yes or no? I just laughed. I did promise the elder that I would appear, shining in red, to help him pray to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. I only have that little weak vow, and that's all. As for whether the little boy in the red light is me, what's the point? The most important thing is that he got the blessing of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva to save his life. He also became a devout Buddhist from a skeptic and a heretical believer. He was willing to cultivate morality and be a vegetarian, and he joined preaching the Dharma. Mike made a long-distance call to me at midnight after I woke up at the University of California hospital. Layman Faun, his voice was very weak, and he seemed very pale. I don't know how to appreciate your kindness. Fortunately, you saved my life this time, he wept as he said. The one who saves you is Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, I said. It's not me. What ability do I have? I just came to accompany you and pray Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva for you. I feel you are by my side, he said. I have a sense of safety in my heart. I am no longer afraid. I remember your words. I keep chanting Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva in my heart until I lose consciousness. Then, I feel you take me to fly in the golden light in the sky. I feel very comfortable and happy, and I feel your red light always accompany me. Yes, I have been with you all the time to protect you. I said. During almost 5 hours of the operation, I prayed to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva for you. This is the only thing I can do. Besides that, I am powerless. Congratulations on your peace. Thank you Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Thank Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. He kept crying. I must give my remaining strength to promote Buddhism and repay the Bodhisattva's great grace. But, I don't know how my body is? You will gradually recover, but your nerves are damaged. Your left leg is no longer able to move. You are likely to be limp and need long-term physical therapy. I will help you as much as I know. No wonder my left leg feels nothing, he said. It doesn't follow orders at all. Will I become paralyzed? You won't have both legs paralyzed. I will try my best to help you. When I'm healed, I definitely will come to visit you. I don't know how to express my gratitude. You are welcome. As long as you take a good rest and recover, chant the Buddha well, and help others in the future, it will be more meaningful than thank me. I shall listen to you, he said. Very well, take more rest. I will ask my friends to see you again. I know they have been here twice. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Huang and some friends had been here and brought me fruits. I called Huang and his wife to drive for 2 hours from Sacramento to the University of California hospital to visit this strange patient who had never met. I can feel their great kindness. Mike, I said, take a rest with ease. I will see you again. Often chant the Buddha. Mike is recovering gradually. I send his photo back to him. Till now, I still bless him. I hope he will recover soon, and he can move around as usual again. This is my deep blessing. I still have many patients waiting for me. I must go out often and try my best to pray for them. I know that I am incapable, and I only have a heart of innocence. I hope the patients are safe. After all, my vow is way too small. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have truthfully great vows. I know that some people prayed to me for help, praying me for a humble mortal like me. Why not pray to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, who have boundless power and compassion?